Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to Rapidon, coming to you live on Rapid Television from the heart of Abuja. Yes, it is Monday, December 1st, 2025. And of course, it is beginning to look like Christmas. And yes, so to you, early birds who rose with the sun, brace up for the headlines that matter. My name is Victor. Okay. And of course, as we begin the new week, let's take it back to some of those stories that made headlines. We hear, of course, that the government has declared a nationwide security emergency, ordering mass recruitment into police and army forces as part of a sweeping plan to tackle escalating banditry and insurgency across the country. Recall that we took these headlines sometime last week, and we talked about it briefly. Regarding the state of emergency or the security emergency.
Security emergency.
That the presidency and of course the federal government has made. Saying, of course, now that it is open for more military personnel to be, taken into the system to fight banditry in this time and era. Because trust me, the fight against insurgent is something that everyone needs to put their hands in right now, especially when it comes to the military personnel. Right. And of course, just to finalize on the update, we hear that an Arewa leader urges the federal government to give bandit amnesty money like the Niger Delta militants. I saw this story over the weekend. I'm like, what is happening here? He was saying that he called on the federal government to consider granting amnesty and financial support to Fulani ethnic militias, commonly referred to as bandits, similar to measures provided to the Niger Delta militants. This is an Arewa leader. He was speaking in one of the sister stations, and he's saying that he was saying that it is better for the government to have a conversation with the bandits. That way the level of violence, according to what he said, the level of violence that they melt out to our society will be reduced. And I ask again, what is happening in our society? Why do you have people, advising the government to negotiate, to have a dialogue with the bandits, instead of advising, for these guys to be taken away from our society? And these questions, just keeps to boggle the mind. It just keeps, disturbing the heart, because you never can tell. Even those that are walking freely in the street, most of these persons that are speaking up for these bandits, you never can tell who they are anymore.
That's my opinion. That's what I've said. I've maintained the same stance.
Because Nigerians are asking, is the federal government, are they capable of protecting the lives of our citizens? Are they capable of protecting even the properties that we have in this country, Nigeria? But of course, we're going to be unpacking these conversations, in the course of this week. We are talking about the World AIDS Day. And we have just Dr. Justina Awena on standby with us. Dr. Justina, good morning.
Good morning, Dr.
Good morning.
Justina. So good to have you here.
We can hear you better now.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor.
Good to have you join us on the conversation.
Thank
let's begin
you.
the conversation talking about today's World AIDS Day. When people hear about the word AIDS, there's always this fear that comes to the mind, first of all. Help us, explain this in simple words. First of all, at what point does someone have the disease called AIDS?
HIV is a human immunovirus. So it's a viral infection that when you have it, you come down with a lot of symptoms that at the initial time, which we call the window stage, the window period, you may not really see any sign. This takes for a period of like 0 to 3 months, which is the window period. Then after that period, you now begin to see symptoms.
Why do you think the stigma is still very much predominant in our society, even as of today?
A lot of people stigmatize because of the negative impression they have.
Okay.
You cannot get HIV through handshake. There are means of contacting the virus. So if people are educated and informed and have all the information they need to know, then the issue of stigmatization will definitely not be there.
Absolutely.
A lot of stigmatization comes because of lack of education, because of lack of information. That is why we still have stigmatization.